Are you having any difficulty understanding the British or Australian accent? Then MET is the exam for you. Because in this test, you would be hearing exclusively a neutral American accent.
What you need is a decent score and then focus on speaking, and voila! Welcome to the United States of America. Welcome back to 9.09er English series on the Michigan English Test, or MET. And this is ideal for the nurses and healthcare practitioners who would like to pursue a career in the United States of America. If in the first week we focused on the most important subtest, and that is speaking. And last week we talked about the subtest that's considered to be the strength of the Filipinos in the Michigan English Test. This week, it's an entirely different scenario because Sir Philip and I consider MET listening to be more challenging. Yes, you heard us right. More challenging than the other English examinations, but the catch is, praise God, you do not need a specific grade for MET listening for your US visa screening. So even if you get 50 over 80 or just 40 over 80 in MET listening, provided that your overall band score is 55 over 80 and your speaking is 55 over 80, you can still pursue a career in the United States. So now, Sir Philip is back to focus on the listening subtest of MET, which is, by the way, the second subtest in the written exams. Sir Philip, take it away.
Thank you, Sir Irvin. MET listening, as Sir Irvin mentioned, is the most challenging part of your exam. And why? So let's get started with that. Because MET listening has three parts. They are in increasing level of difficulty. They become harder and harder. Part 1, you're asked to listen to 19 short dialogues. How short? Like 3 to 6 seconds.
True.
Dialogues. But you'll be asked one multiple choice question about it. That's not so hard because you don't have to recall such a huge amount of information in your head before you answer. The difficulty truly begins in section 2, where you have to listen to 4 longer dialogues and you have to answer 3 to 4 multiple choice questions there. So imagine you're going to be listening for 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and you're answering as you go along, or rather, that's one way to do it. You can answer while you go along, but the other way of doing it is to just listen for 30, 60 plus seconds, and then only afterwards do you provide your answers. But what makes it difficult is, unlike in other English exams, unlike most English exams, you're given, in MET, you're not given a lot of time to read the questions ahead of time. So you don't know which parts there are important, which parts are irrelevant, etc. You are going to be, well, at least I was grasping I was like struggling. Oh no, I was focusing on the questions. You only have precious few seconds to get your bearings and to identify keywords before the audio starts playing. The same thing happens in section 3, where unlike in previous sections, you listen to dialogues. In section 3, you listen to a monologue. So there's only going to be one voice you're going to be hearing, making it more challenging to determine when the topic has shifted or not. It would still be multiple choice, so at least even if you didn't catch the answer, you can guess, and I admittedly guessed in some of the numbers. And unfortunately, what made section 2 difficult remains true in section 3. You don't have a lot of time to read the questions. You are going to be grasping for an anchor or for what to focus on. So the silver lining there, and which I was also counting on during my own exam, is that, as Irvin mentioned, there is no minimum grade that is required in listening. So it's very easy for you to compensate for whatever errors you might make in listening in the other subtests. Of course, don't try to make too many mistakes because that would drag your overall grade down.
Sure.
But perfection is not the goal. Do better in speaking, and just do your best in listening in the other subtests.
If I may share with you my history as an English teacher. So I started teaching in 2008. Rather, 2006. Let me correct that one. So as you can see, from 2006 all the way to 2023, I thought that listening is the subtest that Filipinos are most comfortable in. It's just that This 2024, when MET entered the Philippines, and we've noticed that MET listening is, well, not really the strength of Filipinos because they are getting lower grades here as compared to the other subtests. My take is, the sequence of the subtests has something to do with the performance of the candidates in general. Why? Because listening, this is the subtest where Filipinos get the highest average in all other English exams. But in MET, it's not the number one subtest of Filipinos. In fact, it's the other way around. Writing is the easiest subtest for Filipinos in MET because, not surprisingly, it's also the first subtest in the actual examination. Why are we sharing this with you? That's because now, for MET listening, you can try out the practice tests, but if you find that there are not too many practice tests, considering that this is a new examination, what you would rather do is for you to immerse yourself in the American accent. And thank God that we are a former American colony because the Filipinos are more familiar with the American accent as compared to the British accent or Australian accent. So that's one thing that should make you feel good about MET listening. The accent that you're going to encounter in the actual examination is something that is familiar to you. So apart from attending 9.09er English review classes for listening, answer the MET practice tests in listening. There are free versions in the website, and there is also an MET book available in Amazon. So you can buy that one and have, or rather, answer practice tests. And don't pressure yourself too much because, as Sir Philip mentioned, perfection is not the goal because you don't need a specific grade here in MET listening. What you need is a decent score and then focus on speaking, and voila, welcome to the United States of America. So, for this particular episode, we focused on listening and the format and how to ace the examination, even if there are not too many practice tests for listening. Next week, our last video for MET series, that's the reading subtest, which, by the way, Sir Philip describes it as a giveaway. So next week, you'll find out why it's called a bonus in MET. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.